guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? Hope you guys can hear me. I see a little bit of lagging on my end, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's hope that we're doing okay. It's Friday. Happy Friday. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, guys. It's Friday. Yay. Let's make sure everybody can hear me. If you guys can hear me, do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. All right, guys, there's a little bit of lag. I see that. Let's see if I change my settings a little bit and bring it down. There's a little lagging now because I brought it down a little bit. I brought the definition to 720 instead of 1080. You don't need to see me that clear. Come on, guys. What's up? Come on in. It should be okay now. Hello, hello, hello. We're keeping the Maddie Soto case in the spotlight, guys, and not just because I want to keep it in the spotlight, because I do want to keep it in the spotlight, but this is a real topic in Florida, and we want to make sure that this case, the Maddie Soto case, and what happened with the sheriff getting arrested for racketeering. Those are the charges for having a gambling ring, guys. And not just that, but it's not that just that sheriff. There's many more law enforcement officers that are going to be arrested in this case. And I'm telling you, it is going to affect the Maddie Soto case. So today I ask you, will the sheriff's arrest hurt or help the Maddie Soto case? Jennifer Soto has not yet been arrested, and why? All right, I'm going to tell you all about it today. I'm going to show you who this officer Marcos Lopez is. Okay, and I will put a poll to see what you guys think. Okay, let me show you this just so you have Maddie Soto up there. This is the same Florida sheriff that apologized for sharing a crime scene photo of Maddie no longer alive. And now that I'm looking back on this, I've talked to you guys before about corrupt sheriffs and corrupt law enforcement. This is real, guys. I got a message from I'm just going to say I got a message from local Florida people the day before this case busted open. Okay, so I knew about this the day before yesterday, before it even came out. Now, I didn't cover it yesterday because I wanted all the information to come out. So there's a huge amount of corruptness. I'll leave this up there as I talk. There's a huge amount of corruptness, and I ask you, think about this while I'm streaming. What was Sheriff Marcos Lopez doing with Maddie's picture in his personal phone? Right? I am going to put up a poll. Maybe I'll do that when I'm showing you guys video. You have to see this whole case in totality. As a matter of fact, one of the videos is actually called "Will This Hurt the Maddie Soto Case?" So what I'm going to ask you on the poll is, Why did Sheriff Marco have Madeline Soto's dead, we'll just say her body? Why did he have a picture of her body on his phone? Now, we know he accidentally shared it. We're going to go over that. Why was it valuable to him? Does anyone think now, after you see this, what he's charged for and the people involved, do you think that he was using that picture to sell or trade for gain of something else? I'm going to pose that question to you, okay? Because local Florida people do, and that's what they're thinking. They brought it to me. They brought this case before I even knew about it. So people are suspecting that Sheriff Marco Lopez was going to sell Maddie's picture or pictures to people that he's surrounded with. Okay, now this guy, Sheriff Marco, is used to having the public around him, is used to having a cameraman and being like he's in the, the sheriff of the town in the Wild West. He's publicly shamed many people in Florida, and I bet they're glad to see him behind bars. He's publicly shamed shoplifters and other people that shouldn't really be shamed to that extent. He also was involved in shooting and killing a teenager in 2023 for stealing some playing cards like the ones that Stephan Sterns was used to having. Okay, so this is crazy. This is I when they brought this to me, I was like, oh my God, we need to cover this case. This is absolutely going to hinder the Madeline Soto case. However, this might help the case to get new law enforcement and new sheriffs that are not being corrupt to get fresh eyes on this case, especially with Jen Soto, you guys, because Jen Soto has Yolanda, her mom, and Juan, her dad, that are tied to the Hispanic community. Now, Sheriff Marco Lopez, yes, the name Lopez is a Hispanic name. And I'm betting there's other Hispanic officers that are in that area that are also going to be arrested. Remember, Jen Soto is Hispanic. Her mom, Yolanda, I'm not even going to try to say her last name. All right. So this is where Sheriff Marco belongs. There's going to be others, but will this arrest hurt or will it help the case to get Jen Soto arrested? All right. That's what we're going to talk about today. Don Grandma 3, thank you so much for the super sticker. Anybody else that has the means to support the channel, right? Me, if you want a super chat, super sticker, or to gift memberships or get a membership, and then hit the like button below. I also have my Guilty of Crime Ghost site. And if you guys have the means, we have PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. All right. Thank you guys. Let's roll on in and start talking about this. All right. How's everybody doing today? I wanted to make sure you guys were in here so nobody else came in here and said, I'm late. Can you go back? All right. New cops, new teachers, new parents. Shocking. This is when you guys actually start to see the footage rolling in and the things that are happening, the bonds being set. And Mr. Sheriff that thinks he's in the wild West, you'll see what I mean. Corruption, law enforcement, nah. Well, it's busted wide open here, Malibu Surf. That's the problem, is we've got this huge case, the Madeline Soto case. All right, we got Stephan Sterns sitting behind bars, Jen Soto that's not behind bars yet. All right, and we've got this little girl right here that needs justice because we know her mom isn't going to help with that. Now, I'm going to start this episode off with Sheriff Marco Lopez. This was from a year ago. Him apologizing for the photo online and then getting a slap on the wrist. Okay, so this is not good. This is not good, but it may be good for the case. All right, I'll play this and then I'll explain to you a little more about why I'm doing this and what the ties are, what his ties are to this case and the community. All right. So first, I want you to know this is the same officer, the same sheriff. Same sheriff that shared Madeline Soto's body on one of his posts. Why the heck did he have pictures of her on his personal phone? Now we're thinking much different, all right? And still no arrest, Jen, everyone but mother. Exactly. But I just told you that she has ties to the Hispanic community via her mom, especially, and her dad. And Sheriff Marco Lopez is also part of that Hispanic community. All right. I believe the trial is 100% going to be televised at this point. All right. Cheapskate, good to see you, my friend. Cheapskate. There's a guy arrested in Tampa for CSAM who looks so much like Stephan Sterns. I wonder if they're related. Probably not, but I'm going to just say that knowing that who his family is and that he doesn't have any relatives over there. It's probably a guy with a beard, right? Anna, why did Lopez go before a Lake County judge? Is that what's a question here? Let us know in chat. I'm gonna go over all of this today, and I gotta tell you, the news has been pumping this out. All right, it's pumping out. So I mean, I'm getting all kinds of messages on my phone, emails, text messages, people. But I've got it. I put this story together yesterday, and I've been watching it ever since. So yes, so does her family have ties to him? She has ties to the Hispanic community. Let's talk about it, right? Good to see you, Diamond Paw, Liv Wade, Marcy, all the mods, Rachel Burton, Cynthia, Malibu Surf. All right, everybody else, good to see you. Hope you guys stay and chat and be part of today's show. Okay, there's a lot of things to go over, so I'm going to start with this so that you know that this is the sheriff connected to this case because he shared Maddie's body accidentally. All right. It's all Hispanic. Kissimmee and Orlando have a lot of Puerto Ricans, but I don't know what ethnicity Soto is. Well, they have there's Puerto Rican and I believe Colombian, but it doesn't matter. It's still the Hispanic community. It's the people that speak Spanish and do business together and do the taxes and help get different kind of funding and money. It doesn't matter what kind of Hispanic. It's the Hispanic community. All right. And I'll explain that to you in case you don't understand. Jen was not facing the sheriff office, but Kissimmee, Lake County is farther away than Orange County. No, that's not what I'm talking about, Anna. But yes, I'm not necessarily talking about Jen facing that sheriff. I'm talking about the entire community. So we'll keep getting into that. I've got a lot today. All right, let's look at this and just start from when the sheriff apologizes. And he thought he was going to continue. This is a year ago. He was out and free. All right.
Maddie Soto after deputies found her body on Friday.
The person accused of posting it, the Osceola County Sheriff. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is joining us live here in the studio tonight. So Hannah, Sheriff Marcos Lopez is now apologizing.
We want to be clear here. We are not airing the photo. It has since been deleted from the sheriff's Instagram page. But as we all know, if it's posted to social media, someone is going to see it and save it, which is how we got a copy of it. A crime scene photo seemingly leaked on social media, posted on the Instagram account for Osceola County Sheriff Marco Lopez. It appears to show the body of Maddie Soto. Former Osceola County Sheriff Russ Gibson, who is rerunning for the position against Lopez, confirming on Facebook the image shows Soto's lifeless body at the scene. The 13-year-old, the center of a 5-day search after she was reported missing on February 26th. Her body found March 1st in a wooded rural area of St. Cloud. Here's Sheriff Lopez that night.
We did discover what appears to be a body. The body has clothing very similar to what the victim was last seen wearing.
We've reached out to the sheriff's office for comment. A response reads in part, quote, "A post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The photo was immediately removed. We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance this may have caused." We also reached out to the state attorney's office to find out what legal implications, if any, the leaked photo may have. State Attorney Andrew Bain writing back he is deeply disturbed that the photo was carelessly made public. And, quote, while I do not believe these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case as of now, they were released in poor taste. Our main focus is making sure we get justice for 13-year-old Maddie Soto. As of tonight, Stephan Sterns, the prime suspect in Soto's disappearance, has not been charged in her death.
So this is how long ago this happened. And today I ask you, I pose the question, number one, is this going to help or hurt the Maddie Soto case? Because it's absolutely tied to the case in so many ways. And is this going to renew the case for Jen Soto and having fresh eyes? Because this is a whole gambling corruption case. There's many people involved. Okay, so that's the take that we're doing today. I've got a bunch of messages still rolling in from locals in Florida that say that this is absolutely going to impact the case. And they pose the question, what do you think he was doing with the picture of Maddie's body? Maybe other ones were in there. Do we now look back after knowing what we know? Maybe you guys can answer later. Was he going to sell these photos? Was he going to trade them? What part of this is going to be affected? Now, good to see you, Thomas Karras, my guy. Everybody shout out to Thomas. He finally caught alive. It's been a while. No, this did not take a year to fire him for leaking the photo. Please don't be confused. This is the same sheriff that leaked the photo of Maddie Soto, and he's now arrested. And he's not arrested for leaking the photo, because I have that video next. So let me tell you, good to see you, Teresa, everybody, Kelly, good to see you, Rosie. You guys do me a favor, come on in, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. And if you can gift memberships, please do. All right, so listen. Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez has been arrested officially and suspended amid a massive investigation into gambling and, guys, public corruption in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order suspending Lopez on June 5th, 2025. That was yesterday, appointing Christopher Blockman an interim sheriff. Now, Lopez faces racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering charges, both first-degree felonies. Authorities allege that he played a key role in $21.6 million in a legal gambling operation. All right. Now, he used his position to shield the entire enterprise from law enforcement. Investigators discovered the operation in 2023, and Lopez allegedly continued to collect a portion of the proceeds after being elected in as a sheriff in 2020, COVID. Now, regarding the Maddie Soto case, Lopez was involved in a controversy after the investigation photo came out, possibly related to Soto's disappearance and death. It was accidentally posted to his Instagram account. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement was asked to investigate how the image was shared. While Lopez was cited for the incident, authorities determined there was not enough evidence to prove that he willfully and knowingly posted the photo, meaning he was not criminally charged, guys, ever. I'll show you that next. The case has sparked outrage in Florida, and that's why I'm here today, with officials emphasizing that public servants should never exploit the public's trust for personal gain. Of course, right? The investigation continues, and more suspects face charges in the connection with the gambling operation. Now, Sheriff Marco Lopez became entangled in the Maddie Soto case after the investigated photo, believed to show the remains of her, was accidentally posted. All right. Again, the community was outraged. Nothing happened. Now, the role in the case was back in 2024, March 2nd, 2024. Lopez's Instagram posted an unauthorized photo of Maddie's death. March 5th, the day later, Osceola issued an apology, all right, saying it was a mistake. Then December 30th, 2024, state's attorney office added Lopez to the Brady, all right, the Brady identification system, a list of law enforcement officers with credibility concerns, guys. So he was added to, he wasn't suspended. He got a slap on the wrist, but they put him into the category of bad credibility. Okay. Now, January 6, 2025, Lopez pled no contest to posting the photo and he was fined $250, guys. That's it. All right. That now June 5th, we come to June 5th, and he's arrested and suspended amid a racketeering investigation for $21.6 million. All right. So this guy is absolutely intertwined in this case, and he done effed up. All right. He done effed up. He got a slap on the wrist, but they put him on a list of being concerned. And now they got him, guys. Now they got him. Yeah, a mistake. Why did he have that? Right. I'm gonna pull this down so we can continue here. Okay, so let's we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about I want you to see how he explains about the photo and everything that's going down, because it's 100% relevant to the Maddie Soto case on how this turns out. Who gets arrested? Who's implicated? All right. Thomas Garrett says 250 out, at least $1 million. $1 million he made is a joke. It was a joke. And I'm glad that we're here. I'm glad that we're here to talk about this. What was he going to do with her photo? Why did he have it in his personal phone? Did he do something else with that photo? And if so, what? All right. Freaking Sid. She says, that's not a good color on the lady. I didn't even notice that. Look at that. Look at her. She looks like she's naked, guys. And yes, Donna Clark, hopefully this arrest will bring attention to all cases he was involved in. Plus, someone will remember his negligence in Maddie's case. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. Abso-freaking-lutely. Good to see you, Clark. Haven't seen you in a while. I don't think I saw you yesterday. I lost my partner in 2009. He was on leave. Prayers for you, Sammy. I'm sorry about that. All right. How do you accidentally post when you have how accident you post? Okay. Well, we'll see that right now. Let's take a look. But I ask you, why was it on his phone and what was he going to do with it? All right. And yeah, she looks like, it's called nude color. All right. It's called nude. It doesn't mean she's nude. It's a bad color. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. Come on. Wake up, roll on in, buckle up, because we're going to be here for a freaking while. Let's go. Let's get hyped up. Come on. We have 228 people in chat. We should have 228 likes. All right. Come on. Let's get to it.
Today, we are hearing from the Osceola County Sheriff about a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body he posted on social media.
He explained to West 2's Megan Mulatto how it all happened.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez is speaking out after accidentally posting a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body on social media in March. Though the sheriff's office was not the lead agency in the investigation into her disappearance, he says it was his team that found what they thought could have been her body.
The major on the scene was actually the person who sent me the photograph. And it's our protocol, I'm the sheriff. You know, we do this.
He says the photo was also entered into evidence. The next day, he says it was accidentally included in a post about seniors on his Instagram page.
Accidentally, when I posted the senior photo array, that was the last picture in the photo array.
He looks like he's a little perturbed here. Normally his hair's a little combed, but doesn't he look like he's stressing a little bit that he accidentally did that? Lynn, thank you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Vermont loves this channel. I love you. And guess what? Because I do love you all, and because it is Friday, and not only that, justice for Sade Robinson, guys. You know I've been covering the Maxwell Anderson case all the way since she went missing. They found body parts. Now, Maxwell Anderson has been found guilty on all charges for Sade Robinson. So, in order to celebrate getting justice for Sade, guys, we are going to be giving out a Foxy box and a Foxy bobble to celebrate justice for Sade. So, y'all are going to want to stay here. You're going to want to comment, and you're going to want to hit that like button so that you can be entered in. And I'm not going to do it until the end. So if you leave, I apologize. All right. Now this is going to be a pretty explosive episode. So you should stay. You should stay. Invite your friends too.
And it was brought to my attention like 10 minutes later, and I immediately took it down. And I immediately notified legal.
This led to an investigation by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which found there wasn't enough evidence to show the photo was posted on purpose, resulting in the state attorney filing a non-criminal citation of up to $500 for violating public records laws, which the sheriff says he plans on paying. Sheriff Lopez says after FDLE finished their investigation, his office received a letter from the state attorney confirming that criminal charges wouldn't be filed. But on the back of that letter, there's also a request for an internal investigation. It says it's a formal request for an investigation into whether the sheriff's, quote, inconsistent statements violate the sheriff's office's standards of conduct policy, referring to statements he made to FDLE, the Kissimmee police chief, and on a radio show.
And I think a conversation between myself and the current state attorney could have cleared a lot of this up, because it's subject to interpretation. There was never a lie. There is no lie.
The sheriff's office says there were.
Well, I think there are some lies, guys. He says there wasn't a lie. He should have just talked to the guy. You should have just asked him if he was getting a part of the $26 million with the other officers. Did you hear him? He said they should have just asked him. Well, guess what, guys? I think they did not have to ask him anymore. They said, let me see your hand, sir. You're under arrest. I love that video. I'm going to play it also, but first after this, I'm going to show you the video that is called Will Sheriff's Arrest Hurt the Madeline Soto Case? All right. That's what we're here for. He said never that a lie. Oh God, he was involved in many other things. All right. Justice for Maddie, arrest her mother. Abso-freaking-lutely. Also, we'll play this and then I'll show you some stuff I posted on my page, some new designs on the merch site for Pride, guys. Happy Pride Month, by the way. All right. Those are posted already on not only my community page, but on the website.
Working on a response. In Osceola County, Megan Mulatto, West 2 News.
And we, of course, reached out to the state attorney's office for more details on the internal investigation they've requested. We have yet to hear back.
Oh, we're going to hear from them now, people. We're going to talk about how this is going to, or how it may affect. Is it going to hurt the case? I don't think it's going to hurt the case, guys. I really don't. I think it's going to help the case with fresh eyes. We need justice for Madeline Soto, and we need Jen Soto to be arrested. Thomas said, I think they tricked him into going to Lake County. Probably told it was some sheriff business. Then, bam, put him in handcuffs. You're going to see. Yes. Happy Pride Month, guys. Happy Pride Month. That looks so cool. Your tattoo did a cutout. It does do a cutout because it's bright green. Bright green, baby. Bright green. All right. And Sadie's mama, much love to you today. I know you're going through something almost daily, but, prayers for you. Okay. I hope you're doing better today. All right, listen up. Will Sheriff's arrest hurt Maddie Soto case? Then we're going to start talking about the details and how it's intertwined and what corruption is going on. It's important to this case, all right?
We begin today with the Osceola County Sheriff arrested on racketeering charges.
It begs the question of why would he do it?
Money?
Why would a man who took an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of this great state break the law? And hopefully one day we will find out.
That was Belvin Perry, the former chief judge for Florida's 9th Judicial Circuit, talking about Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. This was his booking photo, courtesy of the Lake County Sheriff's Office.
Say
Sheriff
what?
Lopez arrested today, booked into the Lake County Jail on charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. There was a state investigation led by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and Homeland Security Investigations. And according to the Attorney General and the Office of Statewide Prosecution, they say it uncovered a criminal organization that
Yeah, I didn't even put that up, Lady for Justice, but technically this is breaking news. This happened yesterday. I knew about it the day before the bust happened, but I didn't want to share the information because I wanted all the details. And now I'm going to share all the information with you because there's a lot in this case. All right. When I go over to Fox 35, it's video after video after video after video of this guy and the charges and the corruption. All right. So it's a lot. And yes, RICO are federal freaking charges. You better bet your ass it's going to be federal charges with $26.1 million at stake and pictures of a body in your phone. And they want to know what exactly it was there for. Monique, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker to say Sade's justice is served. That was one incredible trial. Thank you for covering her, Jay. Absolutely. I know I wasn't able to cover the case, you guys, or the trial because I work during the day, all day, every day, but I do come at 4 o'clock and report on the details. So thank you guys for being here. Everyone here in Central Florida has been calling for Jen's arrest. Could a new sheriff mean we might finally see her charged? Abso-freaking-lutely, Lady Elder Snake. That's why I'm here today to talk about the concerns of the local Florida people surrounding and everybody that's been with me since day one of this case. This scumbag is facing 30 years. All right. I absolutely think he's involved in several things. Good to see you, Indy Isham. We just got started right now, so you guys have no idea what you're going to hear. Stay here with me and you're going to know. All right. And yeah, prior cases, so sus. You guys, so many people in Florida say they were waiting for this to happen. You're going to see him get arrested. He's going to walk in still in his sheriff's suit to his surprise. All right. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. Hashtag hit that like button, guys. All right. I'll put that back up. So many of you have shown me love over at Guilty of Crime Ghost. Please continue to do that. And thank you. All right. Let's get to it.
Was operating an illegal gambling enterprise centered mainly in Lake and Osceola counties, and that investigators say generated more than $21 million in illicit proceeds. This now is Christopher Blackman. He has been named.
Now we're talking about this right now, exactly what you're saying, Thomas. This is the new guy that's been appointed. Now this doesn't have, it can have to do with the state, but I got to tell you, with those corrupt officers, not officers, sheriff, with them out of the way, it is going to impact this case, and I believe in a positive manner. All right. So hashtag arrest freaking Jen Soto.
To fill the position of Osceola County Sheriff after Governor DeSantis today issued an executive order suspending Sheriff Lopez from that position. Blackman here is the Central Region Chief for Florida Highway Patrol, now stepping in as Osceola County Sheriff. So a lot of questions here as this story continues to develop. We also wondered, how is he going to be treated in jail? What happens now to some other Osceola County cases? And what will this case against Lopez look like moving forward? Those were questions I posed to Judge Belvin Perry, just a little bit ago when we spoke.
It was shocking because your highest ranking law enforcement officer, along with other law enforcement officers, are charged with the responsibility of upholding the law. With that, you don't expect them to break the law. It is devastating to law enforcement, and particularly devastating to the reputation of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
How will the sheriff be treated in jail? Will he be isolated from other inmates? Do you have any idea what that situation might be like?
He will be kept in isolation if he remains in jail.
He's going to be in isolation, guys. I wonder if he's going to be next to Stephan Sterns. Good to see you, Carrie. I've got your positive potato here for a Friday. I hope that you stay around, Carrie, because we're doing a giveaway. We're giving 2 things away today that you're not going to want to miss. A Foxy Box and a Foxy Bobble, all right? Yeah, think about that. Read that comment below and think about that.
From the rest of the inmates for his own safety.
Yeah, and we do know he was taken to Lake County and the jail there. Certainly an interesting situation, though. We want to dive in on what impact this could have on other cases, because we know there are a lot of other cases, obviously, that the sheriff's office is investigating, looking into, some high-profile cases, including the Maddie Soto case. What does this mean for some of those?
What will happen will be basically centered around 2 things. One, whether any of those officers are involved in this particular case where the sheriff is involved in. The second part is that an officer's credibility will be put in jeopardy.
Thank you.
Because it is only human nature that a jury would look at this and say, well, we got this deputy testifying from the Osceola County Sheriff's Department. Should we believe him? Particularly if it's just the officer's word alone and there's no corroborating evidence to back up with that officer. So it puts each and every law enforcement officer
really
with a taint on them, and lawyers will say you shouldn't believe them.
Well, and this is not the first issue we have seen with Sheriff Lopez, and so I think that credibility question would be something that defense attorneys could really kind of push and lean into.
You know what's interesting, guys? They already had him on a targeted list, all right, of credibility. They were already looking into and investigating those charges of racketeering when he did that in the Maddie Soto case. And they were looking at what the heck he was doing with that picture or pictures. Edith, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. I appreciate you. And PGH for the $5 super chat. All right. Thank you. All right. I'm so curious how people from all over know about Grady. I couldn't name a sheriff in any other county, but everyone knows Grady. There's a lot of people in my chat and on my channel that are also local to Florida. All right. And this case is international, the Maddie Soto case. So I'll leave it at that.
Not only will they push and lean into it, you will see during the voir dire jury selection process, they will ask numerous questions about the believability and credibility of law enforcement officers, that they're just like anyone else. They will also ask, have you heard about the sheriff in Osceola County being arrested? And try to determine what effect, if any. And the problem is it stains the credibility of the fine men and women who wear the uniform. People now are going to look at them a little differently.
Does this hurt the Maddie Soto case and the push to try to...
And I'll wait for a second. Doesn't that guy look like a cartoon? I'm sorry. I'm glad he's reporting, but he looks like a cartoon. I don't know why. It's like the Dexter cartoon or so. Anyway, my mind is just like, when I saw him, I was like, I know that guy. All right. Yes. Sheriff Marcos Lopez arrested, and many other in a racketeering scheme or ring. So many people involved, guys. We're going to talk about everything we know today, and he's about to answer, how do you think it's going to affect the Maddie Soto case? Also, stay here to get a chance to win the Foxy Box and a bobble. We'll take a look at the merch. I might even give away one new Pride shirt or one of the Pride items. I'll show you guys later. Michael Bass, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. It doesn't matter if you're late. All right.
Try to get a conviction of Stephan Sterns in his two cases.
In that particular case, will it be raised? There's a slight possibility, but that case independently of itself shouldn't have any repercussions from this, because that's a pretty solid case with, if it was just a sole deputy witnessing something where it was a one-on-one situation. Somebody's going to try to create smoke about that, but it should not have any major effect.
I want to ask where about this investigation involving the sheriff, and kind of where you think things go from here with this.
And of course he's going to say that to the public, guys. Of course he's going to say that to the public, because he wants to preserve the integrity of this investigation. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a toll for the people that were involved in that case and working on the Madeline Soto case. All right. Doug, funny twin. Yeah, I got you guys laughing. That's funny. It was funny. Written in stars, and all the idiots getting arrested are the same cops locking people up for similar cases. And not only that, but they shame the shit out of them, you guys. So I have a feeling that shame's going to be real on them. Carrie, you're taking an Uber right now? I'm glad you're smiling at chat, and I read your comment about Teresa. That's awesome. If I were in your area, I would go to you and let you do my hair. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Lynn from Vermont, thank you for gifting a membership. And also, I didn't even get to thank PG Deb for that membership as well. All right, let's keep going. We got a lot to cover.
Yes, and where I would imagine a prosecution would not move forward in Osceola County when trying to prosecute the Osceola County sheriff.
It wouldn't surprise me that as this case, based upon pretrial publicity, the defense does not file a motion for change of venue. Generally, what the court will go through, particularly if the prosecution objects to a change, is they would at least go through jury selection to see whether or not they can find people that can set aside whatever opinions they may have formed and decide the case based on the law and the evidence. And if they're able to get 6 people plus about 6 or 7 alternates, the case can be tried there. Or you can do what we did in Case Anthony case, go to another jurisdiction, select a jury and bring it back to Osceola County, or you can have it in another area altogether.
So certainly options, but there are definitely challenges when you're talking about, prosecuting someone like the sheriff here.
It will not be an easy task to try that case in Osceola County, to put it simply.
Well, the sheriff expected to make his first appearance in court tomorrow morning in Lake County.
Which was today, which we have clips of. Absolutely. I'm going to show you this real quick. You'll see how much coverage it's just been blasting over there in the Florida area. So there's his shame picture, right? Arrested in gambling, corruption, and a lot has happened since his arrest, you guys. All right. So when you look at this here and what they're talking about, all of these are here. It came out and out and out. They've got the community reacts to wanted. All right. So Osceola Sheriff Marcos Lopez, first he was suspended from office by Thursday by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis amidst the investigation of illegal gambling and public corruption. All right. Then he was arrested on Thursday and faces 1 count of racketeering and 1 of conspiracy to commit, both first-degree felonies. We're going to watch this next. We're going to watch the arrest of this guy, and let's shame this guy, right? Public servants should never exploit the public's trust for personal gain. Well, obviously, right? Okay. So yeah, look at, there's a lot of coverage here, guys. It just keeps going. This guy is definitely feeling the shame today. All right, so here we're going to watch the rest, the new details, and then we're going to show you all that we know, and we're going to talk all the things we always do. All right, let's go.
Breaking on Eyewitness News of 4, new video of the moment the sheriff of Osceola County was placed in handcuffs.
We have been told that Osceola County was notified today at the sheriff's office that their sheriff has now been arrested.
Channel 9 was the first to break this arrest and the charges related to what the state calls a massive illegal gambling operation. We have live in-depth team coverage.
And I'm looking at the specific location wrapped up in this investigation.
What a busy news day. You are looking right now at the mugshot of the Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, who is now suspended by Governor Ron DeSantis. It has been, again, a busy afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Martha Sigalski.
And I'm Darlene Jones. He was booked into the Lake County Jail around noon today, just about 4 hours ago. Since then, our team of reporters have uncovered new developments, bringing them to you first here on Channel 9 and WFTV.com. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler broke the story and starts off our team coverage live at the Federal Building in Orlando, where Sheriff Marcos Lopez was arrested this morning. Shannon.
Darlene, we were here this morning just after 9:30. Sheriff Marcos Lopez pulled up in that black Denali you see right there. He got out of this vehicle just before 10 o'clock. He went into the front door of this building. He was in there about 3 minutes before he was surrounded by those federal agents. Yes. Stripped then of his gun, and now he is stripped of his badge. It was just moments. He was in there, walked in on his own, but left in a police car. It was just before 10 a.m. when Sheriff Marcos Lopez pulled his black SUV into this parking lot.
Yeah, this is great, guys. I was like, I couldn't wait to get to this part. Did you see his face in the beginning of this video? It's like, no handcuffs. You remember the other sheriff that shot the judge in that whole case? I never got around to covering it, but Gavin Fish did. It feels very similar. Shout out to Michelle Patterson watching from Sydney, Australia. In Australia, it's already tomorrow. Right? You can crochet me some potatoes. Please do. I have one right here that's a positive potato. Maybe you can send me a rotten potato. All right, let's go. We're gonna get into the details after this of the operation.
For a meeting with Homeland Security investigators. We were there as he was led in the front door, but just minutes after his arrival, he was put in handcuffs by those federal agents, seemingly unaware of why. Arrested and charged with racketeering, his mugshot right here. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying it all started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash. Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming. The special agent in charge, John Condon, sending a statement today saying, quote, no one, regardless of their position, is above the law. Now, if you take a close look at that video of the sheriff's arrest, you can see he asked those federal agents, what is this all about? That is what he said as he was being put.
He was wondering if it was, if he was getting arrested for the CSAM stuff or the gambling. Just kidding. I don't know that he's involved in CSAM. I just don't like that he had Madeline Soto's body on his phone. And I wonder what other pictures he had on his phone. And obviously it's his personal phone, or he's using his work phone for personal things. So it's either or, right? All right, let's keep going. I thought that was funny, his walk of shame, because boy, if we go back to his past arrests and what he's done to people for far less crimes like shoplifting, this guy is part of a $26.1 million gambling ring, all right, with lots of people. Yeah, we're gonna see Dexter cartoons next too. All right, love you too, badass Tara. You change your name every day. You change your name every day. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you.
Put in handcuffs now. Again, he has been suspended. A new sheriff has been appointed by the governor. That is Chief Christopher Blackman from the FHP. We will have much more on him at 4:30. But in the meantime, we have learned that people at the sheriff's office have already been fired. We are live tonight in Orange County. Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Again, only Shannon Butler breaking this story. Thank you so much, Shannon. And our team coverage continues right now with Channel 9's Sabrina Majore, who is live outside of the Lake County Jail. Sabrina, Lopez is there right now on no bond.
Yeah, Martha, Lopez was booked here just after 11 this morning, and like all inmates, he was fingerprinted. They took photographs of him, and the information was transferred to an online system about his charges. We did learn from the Lake County PIOs, the public information officers, that he's likely being held in an area away from other inmates. That's because of his status, of course, as a former sheriff.
They are very serious charges.
Osceola County's top law enforcement officer set to face a Lake County judge on first-degree felonies for racketeering and conspiracy to...
Now this was laid out within days and then hours, like one day back to back. So he got fired or he got suspended and then arrested. Now, I don't know where the mods are. There you go. Teresa, there's how you become a member. You click on youtube.com/guilty of crime and join. Thank you, Foxy. You caught that. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at this arrest. Racketeering, second-degree felony, warrant, no bond. Now, later on, they're going to give him a bond. It's set at $1 million. And then this morning, he went back. All right, they suspended that bond.
To commit racketeering. They each carry up to a 30-year prison sentence.
It's not.
The former sheriff will soon enter his plea during an arraignment on June 30th.
No matter if you are the lowliest criminal or a high-profile sheriff, everybody receives the same due process in the criminal justice system.
Lopez first joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003 while still serving in the Navy Reserve. He completed more than 20 years of military service and went on to work various roles at the Sheriff's Office, including with communications, the Patrol Division, and criminal investigations, before he was elected sheriff in 2020.
So help me God.
Lopez was sworn in 2021 and made history, becoming the first Hispanic sheriff in the state of Florida.
And that's what I'm talking about. Some people were like, Jay, what does that mean? What does that have anything to do with him and being Hispanic, or Jen and being Hispanic, and Yolanda being Hispanic? Well, Yolanda has many ties to the Hispanic community, and they do lots of activity with money and finances and moving things around and helping people move their things around. All right. So there you go. Look at that. Hispanic sheriff elected in Florida. You just heard. And then Thomas brought that up. So there's a big deal, guys. There's a big deal with this. Okay. I promise. That's why I brought it today, because people in Florida were going crazy over this. I wouldn't have heard of this. I'm in California. This is not on my local news.
He prioritized de-escalation training, implemented a real-time crime center at the sheriff's office, and launched a mentorship program between juveniles and deputies before he was re-elected last year.
If we can save one person and make an impact in someone's life, that's what we're trying to do here.
And Lopez's tenure as Osceola County Sheriff was not without controversy. We're breaking down some of those coming up at 6, but for now, reporting live in Lake County, I'm Sabrina Major.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the actual operation. Sadie's mama, thank you so much. I did see your comment. It was flying by, but Jay, that's the jail just down the street from me. I see you ride by it all the time. And yes, that's why Yolanda is so powerful as she is, because the main population is Hispanic. If you look at the demographics there. Yes, welcome Teresa Letcher. You guys welcome her. She figured out how to get a membership. Yay. What's up, Em? Happy Friday. We're giving things away today, so stay here. All right. He should have been arrested last year. I agree. But it took them a while to put this case together. And when you hear more of the details about it, yeah, creative bookkeeping is right, Carol. Creative bookkeeping. That's a wonderful way to say that. All right, so we're going to talk about everything we know so far in the operation, and then we're going to do all the other details of the case that have been unfolding this morning. And today.
It's local and on YouTube. It
There's
is time
Dexter.
for today's Top 4 at 4, where we break down 4 of the big stories that we're tracking in the Fox 35 newsroom. And joining us for today's Top 4 at 4 is Fox 35 news anchor John Brown. And John, we appreciate you joining us.
Yep, Top 4 at 4. It's all one story.
It is all one story.
Multiple angles right now because this story is getting headlines. Somewhat nationally, but definitely in every corner of Florida here. So we start with the big news today. Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez has been arrested on charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. This is over his alleged involvement in a major, years-long illegal gambling operation in a couple of counties that they know of. He was arrested today earlier in his uniform. The video of his arrest was released by Homeland Security agents in the Tampa area. And as you can see, that's him being arrested there. He appears to mouth the words,
"What's
this
this about?"
Now, we were just debating why he was there. They must have called him in and then sprung that on him. So he was arrested Thursday morning and booked into jail. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis immediately suspended him as the sheriff. Now, again, this story making news all across the country because, well, it's shocking that an elected official accused of such serious charges, and one of our law enforcement experts, Jamie Copenhaver, he sounded off about this today. He was shocked, too.
Those are some shocking revolutions. I mean, anytime you're dealing with a racketeering charge, I mean, that carries a serious prison sentence, Garrett. I think there's still a minimum mandatory on a racketeering charge if convicted. So, the sheriff's going to have a lot of hurdles to jump over to build a defense on this case. But, the gambling aspect of that's shocking. And then campaign finance.
Surprise.
And it has been interesting to see some of those details of what they are accusing him of.
Yeah, let's talk about that right now because actually when you hear the number, everybody's kind of like, dang, this is a big deal. Okay, so here's what they've uncovered in their investigation, they say.
And we're going to show you some of the paperwork and accounts and people that are involved inside of this gambling operation, you guys. So this is a big deal. I mean, if you live in Florida, you probably realize it much more than others. It's affecting the community. Trust that it's affecting the community. All right. Now, Rachel, I'm not saying he's connected to Jen's mom. I'm saying there's a Hispanic community and there's a group of people that in the community that do these things and that thing and people that help this and help that. There's a Hispanic community that's tied to money and tied to cleaning the money that is not supposed to be there. All right. So him directly connected to Jen Soto, that's not my take on it either. Nancy Jean, thank you so much for the $4.99 super sticker. All right. So yeah, I don't believe that either. And I hope that's not how I'm coming across in this episode. I'm absolutely not trying to say Jen Soto's connected to this dude. All right. Not directly.
According to the criminal complaint, Lopez was connected to, aware of, or part of an illegal gambling operation that ran lotteries and slot machines. Officials say the organization generated more than $21 million in illegal proceeds over the past few years. So the sheriff now facing these charges, racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, and they said multiple others maybe also are going to be arrested in the days to come. Now, following his election as the sheriff back in November of 2020, so he's been in office 5 years, investigators say he continued to advance the interests of that criminal organization and even collected a portion of the gambling proceeds for his involvement.
Yeah, very serious allegations. You mentioned the dollar amount. It's just kind of it just kind of blows your mind to hear that.
I mean, what's also interesting is we do these stories often about these, slot machines in the back of a bar and different stories like that. But then when you have the sheriff allegedly as a part of this, and we're going to get into this in a second, but I mean, I started looking back to the arrest previously. How many people has he busted for this? Well, that puts many of those cases in jeopardy. Again, we'll get to that in just a second. But again, I mean, this is that crime right next door. You hear, oh, there's a bar next door. They're doing some gambling in there. And then the accusation is not only was he behind it, he was profiting from it. Now, to what extent? I'm also curious to see if he was the front for law enforcement in this case, where they, and we're going through some scenarios here that I talked to some officers about where, he allows it, he permits it to happen because he's taking a cut. And he said that's a likely scenario here. They doubt that he would come up with a criminal enterprise like this to be brought into it on the flip side. And this could have gone back a long time. Once we get the full details of how long it's been going on, then we'll have a better idea. But one of the guys I talked to today also said, if this has been going on prior to him being in office, then one thing that law enforcement is going to look into is who donated to him to run for sheriff in the first place. That could be very interesting. If they find out that some of these other guys are associated here, they go back and see who helped fund the money for that first election and the second election too. wow, this is going to there's a lot of tentacles going.
Yeah, this is definitely, I wouldn't call this a Lifetime movie at all, or anything to sell to tabloids. As a matter of fact, the news and law enforcement are looking at this case and wondering what the connection might be to the Madeline Soto case, as far as the law enforcement that have been working on the case. And they posed the question, will sheriff's arrest hurt the Madeline Soto case? And I ask, will it help or hurt the case because of the people tied to this being removed? They're going to bring new people in that are not connected to anybody in that town. So that's what I pose the question. So the chat and the comments, I see it. Thank you, Bree, for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. Right after this, we will talk about, you'll see the inside of the gambling operation, and then a little bit of him being in court. If anybody wants to do call-ins today and you guys want to talk about this, because I know there's a lot of local people, you guys can let me know. We're also going to give away a Foxy Box, a Foxy Bobble, and then take a look at some of the new merch. All right. Thank you, Bree.
Going out on this one, it could go a long ways.
Yeah, and this is really just the first, to mix metaphors here, this is just the first thread,
right?
That's kind of being pulled as we are learning
right.
of it.
And what they normally say is the biggest one doesn't go down first. A lot of times, the big one goes in anticipation of getting the bigger one, right? That's your pin right there. Yeah. You get this guy, say, okay, well, we could go easier on you. Again, we're playing out the scenario here. We go easy on you. You have to go here. And I mean, wow, this investigation has to be so intricate. And I'm fascinated by investigations like this when you start putting the pieces together. So we'll see.
Thanks.
And again, innocent until proven guilty. But that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and the Attorney General's office saying today that he initially engaged the operation.
Thank you, Princess Tarot, aka Jen. Appreciate the $1 super sticker. All right, who wants to take bets he tries to escape or run away? That's interesting, because when we talk about the bail or the bond and the amount and then being lowered, that's what I wonder. It's easy to escape the Florida area, but I got to tell you, Thomas, they did take his passport. So supposedly now he can't run, but who knows what this guy has, right? He's running this or helping run this operation and covering things up with cash. $26.1 million is a lot of money. And even if you got a small percentage of that in cash, where is that cash? And I asked that question because the judge brought up that question as well. Where is the cash? If he pays the bond, the judge has said the bond has to be paid by clean money. They will not accept money that's not clean. They're going to make sure that whoever pays that bond is showing them where that money came from. All right. So they're not going to just accept anything. I want you guys to know that. He did, and that was today. But for $200,000, it drops to 10%. It's only 20, but only clean money, and you have to show where. So they thought about it all. All right. I don't know what his house looks like. If anybody knows, let me know. All right, let's keep going.
For campaign contributions and personal payments, but then played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise, using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement.
This is, we all know the stories about Chicago crime, right? When Chicago crime happened, the only way they were able to actually expand the crime operations, and it happens in other cities, but Chicago is one that I'm intricately aware of. The only way you can expand these operations and keep them growing is if you have police on your side, or judges, or investigators, because somebody's got to squash the investigations. And that's what happened.
So Thomas is local to that area. Thomas is in Florida, and he says his house is very nice. I would imagine he's in the really good community, and he probably does have a nice house with that salary that he gets for being a law enforcement or sheriff, right? Right, Thomas? His money, it's from the sheriff. You say his house is worth at least $800,000 in the current market. Now, that's not a lot in San Jose, so I can't imagine what that is there, but I'd love to see what 800,000 does there. Thank you, my friend. I just got a haircut for you. Just kidding. I just got a haircut. Thank you. It was $1 million, and then it got lowered, and then it got lowered again. I thought they said 500,000. It started out at $1 million, then it went down, and then he went to court today, which I'll show you some of that. All right, I won't say the exact neighborhood, but it's a neighborhood I used to frequently work in. All right, and it better be clean money. Have to take calls from the family. I'll be back. You could go and rewatch it. Come back.
In Chicago. So you see a story playing out like this, and it's
Thank
like, wow,
you.
this is
Appreciate you.
that's why it's such big news. There's so many facets to the story today.
It's fascinating, and we've gotten some reaction from state leaders. This statement from Attorney General James Uthmeyer coming in earlier
Thank
today.
you,
Yeah,
Joyce.
basically solemn day in Florida for our law enforcement community. Put this one here. We put great trust in our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense. And he goes on to say about how it's proceeded here. But again, it's not just law enforcement. I mean, this is one of those stories where even my wife jumping on a plane said, I just saw the headline that you guys pushed out. So, you know, sheriffs are a powerful position here in Florida. And if you're new to this,
yeah, that's a whole, we can have a whole conversation about that. Clark, let me add to that. An average home price in San Jose is $1.5 million, but the average price or the average home was built in 1956, 1957. You're talking about a house that was built in the 1960s to 1970s. 1.5 million in San Jose does not even close to getting you a new house. A new house in San Jose, it costs between $8 and $10 million. Now, you could probably get a $4 million house that's brand new, but it's kind of just like mediocre, and you don't get all the perks that you get. But 1.5 million, it's an older house. All right, nothing new here. Yeah, piece of crap in Cali. Exactly. I wouldn't call my house a piece of crap, but yeah, it took 18 years to get it the way I want it. So that's that. Thank you, PGH. And thank you guys for being so generous with gifting memberships today. Here in Central Florida, that's not a mansion, but $800,000 is like a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom condo. And then you still got fees, $500 HOA a month. So Dexter's playing games. We're going to get into what I mean by gambling operation right after this. All right, let's finish watching Dexter.
This area, it's not like most states. Like in Missouri, we didn't even know who a sheriff was. It was just a minor position.
Yes.
Here, some of these guys have that strong sheriff model where they think they're more powerful than the governor. So that culture goes back a long time in the 1800s here in Florida. So these are powerful individuals, and they have a lot at their disposal. That's why I think this is getting so much attention here.
And this statement from Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, who strong words as you would expect from
these
him.
guys all know each other too. So these guys have to release statements on somebody or people they know intricately. He says, I'm extremely disappointed and shocked by Sheriff Lopez's criminal conduct. He has embarrassed himself, his family, and the great men and women who work at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. His conduct is outrageous, unprofessional, and obviously corrupt.
Hello.
He forgot the first rule in public service: no one is above the law. So, I mean, again, he didn't hold back. I mean, some of the others have been a little less, but you'll never get.
Yeah, someone popped on here a minute ago and said that this is a hot topic. It's hot news in Florida. It really is. I'm still getting messages on my phone while I'm streaming this to you about this topic. So everybody is up in arms in Florida about this. All right, Aquarius, good to see you. Stray Dog, spacious in the feds. All right, and yeah, Malibu Surf, I didn't think you meant that. I'm just trying to clarify what's where and trying to figure out what you guys mean by $800,000 nice house and where that is. Yeah, we could definitely move out of this state and buy a McMansion, buy a freaking McMansion anywhere else. Chill. What's up? Hello from Osceola County. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here.
Grady Judd to hold back a little bit, but even like Mark Nejim has been really outspoken in some of these cases that we've covered here on Fox 35.
Canada is outrageous.
Sheriff, the way he handled the recent investigations.
Thank you.
Attorneys here have also had issues with him, and I think this is their chance now to pile on. You're going to see a lot of that today.
The governor has suspended Sheriff Lopez from office, and a replacement has been named. And we want to go now to Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte, who joins us live outside the Oscar.
You know what's really creepy? We're talking about homes right now, and I go to look at my email to get Kelly's email, and my email says, welcome to Zillow. I did not sign up for Zillow. under my guilty of crime account. Just saying. I don't know if somebody just signed me up for Zillow, but as we're talking about it, I got that message. Welcome to Zillow. I did not sign up for it. All right. And I didn't get your email, Kelly. Can you re-email it?
Osceola County Sheriff's Office to tell us more about who this is stepping in to this role, take over this role of Osceola County Sheriffs. Good afternoon, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, Garrett. So that is going to be Christopher Blackman. He is the interim sheriff here.
Okay.
So a lot happening inside the sheriff's office behind me here today in terms of leadership. Now, a little bit about him. He's with Florida Highway Patrol.
All right, so let's clarify this one more time, guys. If you guys have been here since the beginning, I'm absolutely not saying that Jen Soto is associated with this sheriff whatsoever. I'm saying that the Hispanic community has ties to Yolanda and other people that have businesses like the tax business that Yolanda does, how she gets people PPP loans and other things. There's a Hispanic community that I've always talked about, and people in Florida tell me that Yolanda is tied to that community. What I pose the question here is, will the sheriff's arrest hurt or help the Madeline Soto case? Because these sheriffs are being moved out and new sheriffs like this guy are being moved in that have no interest in anything that Yolanda or those people can do for her. So I just want to make that clear. I am not saying that Jen is tied to these people directly. All right. So I hope you guys realize that. All right, let's keep going.
He leads actually 850 sworn troopers and is the statewide immigration commander for all 67 Florida counties. So he already has this big leadership role in Florida and specifically in Central Florida. An FHP, overseeing so many troopers there. We know that he has volunteered for Make-A-Wish and the Special Olympics, and that he just has a long background in law enforcement.
And Stephanie, what happens with this position now? How long will he be kind of filling this out? We know things are a little bit different because Lopez has just been suspended, not necessarily removed from office. But where do things stand, and kind of what's next?
So that's what's kind of up in the air right now because of that point that you just made. Marcos Lopez, was suspended by the governor, but he has not been removed. If he is removed, that's when things will start going. So if he's removed, that will prompt a special election. That would fall in tandem with fall elections in August and November of 2026. Yeah. So we're talking a little while here that the interim sheriff would be in place until that moment. If elected, whoever is elected in the special election, if that does happen, they would serve the remainder of the term, but then there would be another election for 2028. So a lot of moving parts here right now. We're just going to have to take them as they come.
Yeah, still a lot to see. Fox 35.
All right, so you guys, I want to know about this. Obviously, the sheriff was arrested for racketeering and one other charge, which we're going to go over again. I want you to know what the heck I'm talking about here and inside the gambling operation. And then I will show Marcos Lopez in his jail clothes and in front of the judge. All right. I don't know much about this new person that's in charge temporarily. If anybody does know how long this guy, I'm sure he has a healthy career or they wouldn't have brought him in. I didn't look into this guy at all. I've been working on the case of Marcos and trying to tie and talk about will this help or hurt the case. And thank you, PGH Deb. We are almost at 25,000 after 14 months or so. I don't know, 14, 15 months. I'd have to look. So thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's finish this and we'll get into what the heck the gambling operation is that I'm talking about.
I've said Stephanie Buffamonte, we appreciate you joining us this afternoon here on Fox 35 News Plus.
Thank you.
So that is certainly an interesting kind of wrinkle in all of this.
Now let's go back to this final one here, because this is the one that I think is going to have some resounding sound or effects down the road here.
Sound
Big question: what happens to the cases that he's currently working? And
there
that's
it
why
is,
I'm trying to look back
guys.
and see
What
if he had
happens?
addressed any racketeering cases. If he
All right, so what's going to happen with the cases he's working on? And there are more people being arrested. What's going to happen with those people that were working on the case? All of these people have been working on and the face of the Madeline Soto case the entire time. Barbara, good to see you. Raised in Kissimmee, Osceola, sad, sad, sad. Yeah, the community seems to be very outraged by this. All right, so yeah, here we go.
had looked into, well, any criminal enterprise stories like this, Homeland Security's involved here. So the stories that the crimes that he is investigating, that he's been involved with, even ones that have already gone to trial and people maybe in jail, all the attorneys who have handled those cases are now wondering what happens next. And we talked to Belvin Perry today, and he kind of lays it out what could happen here.
Yeah, because he said really this hurts the credibility of the entire office, not just the sheriff himself.
Yeah, and you're talking about one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing county in the fastest growing state in the country. There's a lot of cases.
Right, and he's been shaming people, walk of shame, and he's been in charge of a lot of things, and this is the census of the community. Ada, this is what people have brought to my attention. She says, we are in total shock. We voted for him and are in disbelief when I saw the news. My heart goes out to his children and how ashamed they must be knowing that father's all over the news. Yes, that is the general census of the people in Florida. They feel very shamed and like they got over. Our governor put him in, and he's the chief of Florida State Patrol. I don't know anything about him, and neither do I. All right.
This is at risk here.
Not only will they push and lean into it, you will see during the Verdier jury selection process, they will ask numerous questions about the believability and credibility of law enforcement officers, that they're just like anyone else. They will also ask, have you heard about the sheriff in Osceola County being arrested? And try to determine what effect, if any. And the problem is it stains the credibility of the fine men and women who wear the uniform. People now are going to look at them a little differently.
So he said, even when you're talking about jury selection, a lot of times they do ask about how do you feel about the testimony of law enforcement, and he said expect it to come up from defense attorneys bringing it up, calling into question and credibility. So a lot of impacts on cases that are still pending.
Yeah, just wait for the appeals at this point and see who decides to try and test these waters, and that's why I think they brought in a guy who's well.
They literally just said sheriff's arrests impact on Osceola cases, but I got to tell you, they're not all named yet, guys. They're not all named yet, so we don't know exactly who's involved, and they're still going to be named. And yes, it's going to impact the cases. How so? I don't know. I'm glad Florida isn't playing with the corruption and charging him. Absolutely, they've been looking at him for a while, so I'm glad they did. What did the sheriff do? He is arrested for racketeering and being involved in a gambling ring of $26.1 million, which we're going to talk about right now.
Well respected by so many people. So maybe that'll calm it down for just a little bit, get the footing again in Osceola County so they can move forward, but get through this and then see where they go.
And I also asked Judge Perry specifically about the Maddie Soto case.
That's what everybody's thinking about, right there.
Of course. And, especially because this is not the first time that there has been issues with this sheriff's office, specifically about that case. And what Judge Perry said was he thinks the evidence in that case is enough to speak for itself, that it probably will not have a large impact. Right. But, you never know.
Any other case that's questionable. Now, in this case, though, if you remember, the reason why we covered him so much was because he had released that picture that wasn't supposed to be out there. And we asked him about it. We had the debate here for Osceola County Sheriff in our studios. And we asked him about that. But it also makes me think back about if they've been watching him for this long, they were watching our debate very closely as well. So now I want to go back and watch the debate and see what topics we brought up to see what was discussed there, because there could have been some topics that that may tie into this. So we're gonna have to go look at that again.
This is just, like I said, just the tip of the iceberg. Still going to be many more details to come out of this, but that is our top 4 at 4. Today's big story, the arrest of Osceola County.
All right, now we're going to get into the actual gambling operation, you guys, and they're going to name some accounts and some names and what the heck that even means, because that could mean a lot, right? Gambling operations. Nancy Jean, thank you so much. I know you're from Florida. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. This incident shows his character throwing more suspicion on what he was planning to do with Maddie's photo. Was he going to sell it? And I didn't even think about that until it was brought to my attention by local people in Florida. I didn't even, it didn't cross my mind that he might be directly connected to other things in Florida, right? We've seen him many times talking about trafficking and busting people for trafficking. So much coming out this year and more to come, right? There's a lot of people that predicted, and what one I can think about, but what's the comedian's name? 2025 is going to be the year of reckoning. And I'm not just saying that because the comedian said that, but real talk, 2025 is the reckoning year. Look at the Diddy thing. Look at all the stuff that's coming out right now, guys. Nancy helped with Maddie's memorial. Yes, she did. There were so many lovely ladies that helped with the memorial and the bench and getting the shirts sold to get money for that. I'm not saying she directly was, but that's what the ladies were doing. All right, let's keep going. Or let's go. Let's go on this breaking news, the gambling operation. Let's talk about that next.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, after years of digging and asking the right questions.
Marcos Lopez is in federal custody.
And we were the first to show you the moment he was taken into custody in his sheriff's uniform, an arrest that took him by surprise.
This will mean that a new sheriff will need to be appointed.
And right now at 6, we have a team of reporters to break down the charges, his troubled past, who will take over his department, and what's next in his case. Our live team coverage starts now. Only we were there as it all unfolded here in Orlando early this morning, and we've been breaking new developments ever since. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigowski.
I'm Darlene Jones. The sheriff showed up there at a Homeland Security office, investigation office, only to be handcuffed moments later. There it is, on charges of conspiracy to commit racketeering and a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring. Here you see on the left his mugshot taken as.
All right, guys. So don't forget, right after this, after I get into this, it doesn't matter if you're late. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be giving away a Foxy box and a Foxy bobble. And then I'm going to show you the new merch in the store and the new merch for Pride Month. All right. We've already been here for an hour and 20 minutes. It doesn't feel like it. But thank you guys for coming here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for chatting. All of that helps. All right. All of it helps. What's up with the covered face mask cop in there? Well, it's probably an undercover cop. Most of the time when they mask their faces like that, it's because they were in some kind of operation and they're used for undercover. We don't want to see their face, right? We're not yet 2025 going to expose the Epstein list too. Absolutely. Him and Jen separated at birth. Okay, Jay, Foxy box, Foxy bundle, and Foxy bobble. I guess we're giving 3 away. Earlier I didn't count, so I didn't count correctly. There you go. All right, let's get this going.
As he was booked into the Lake County Jail, and video there on the right of his arrest. We have a team of reporters across Central Florida tonight to bring you every angle of this major story, from what's happening now to what's next. We start with Channel 9's investigative reporter Shannon Butler live at that federal building in Orlando. Right. And Shannon, you were the first to break details here on air and online, and a lot has happened since just before 10 when you arrived there this morning.
Yeah, we're here where Marcos Lopez's Denali is still sitting here behind me. It took just minutes from him to go inside this building to the Lake County Jail. We know that because we were here when it all happened. HSI investigators tonight making it clear that no one is above the law. Marcos Lopez walked into this federal building this morning, but just minutes later stripped of his gun and his badge, put in handcuffs, and read his rights, asking agents what this was all about. What it was about was a months-long investigation for racketeering. Today, he was arrested and booked in the Lake County Jail. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying it all started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash. Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But then
Good to see you, Thomas. Don't work too hard, my friend. It's Friday. Tomorrow's the weekend. Everybody shout out. Thomas is going to head out. We all love you, Tom. Thanks for being here. Thomas, I don't want to call you that if you don't like that name. Rebecca, good to see you. Anybody that's rolling in, good to see you. I'm trying to find my merch to show you after. I really can't even find it. So if I can't find it, it might be hard for you guys. So Tiff, if you can hear me, can you send me an email? Because I don't see anything. I'm confused about my website. All right, let's go. I have no idea.
this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming.
Yeah, he's
Now, we were
surprised.
told that Marcos Lopez did not make a statement inside, which we could figure that out just as quickly as this happened. Like 3 or 4 minutes, he walked inside and was taken quickly by car to the Lake County Jail. We are told, though, there are more, quote, targets in this investigation. It's not clear if they are witnesses or they will be arrested, but it is clear this investigation is long from over. In Orange County, Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And Shannon, you were able to break this story after years of investigating this sheriff and his office.
Damn. Years.
Yeah, we first got a tip on this story probably about 6 months ago. We have tried since then to kind of work this situation to try to figure out just how many people were involved. As you know, the sheriff has had controversies before at that department. So we were trying to weed through exactly what may or may not have happened here. But today, those rumors came to be true as the sheriff was arrested here in Lake County, again, under investigation now for racketeering charges. Martha.
A major story in our community. And of course, you're leading the way. Excellent reporting. Thank you. Darlene?
Martha, now the suspended sheriff is not the only one implicated in this case. As you heard Shannon mention, there are 4 other alleged accomplices here. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is learning more about the people identified by the Attorney General's office.
On the club's TikTok, you can see Eclipse Social Club repeatedly promoting gambling. The social media page calls the establishment a casino with a lot, fish tables and computer games with daily promotions. You can see the wall of the building lined with at least 20 video slots and other gaming machines. But according to the court documents, this is where the 5, including Sheriff Marcos Lopez, was involved in racketeering, an illegal gambling operation. According to the state business record, Sheldon Witherholt was the manager of this social club. Ying Zhang, who also goes by Kate, is listed. Witherholt, Zhang, and Marcos Lopez are accused of keeping the gambling house, unlawfully having slot machines, and setting up or promoting a lottery. State prosecutors say Sheriff Lopez and Ying Zhang were also involved with money laundering, so disguising the money collected from this illegal gambling operation. 2 other women are listed in court documents as employees or agents of this operation, including Sharon Frederick and Carol Coate. Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We received a statement from State Attorney General James Othmeyer saying this is a solemn day for Florida and our law enforcement community. We put great trust in our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense. However, the law must be applied equally, regardless of position, power, or branch of government. Right now, the former sheriff is locked up at the Lake County Jail and will appear in court later this month. This isn't the first time he's made headlines.
Yeah, and he was in court this morning. It was an hour long. And because we've already been here for an hour and a half, I'm not going to show that. I am going to show a quick 2-minute clip about him being in court. You're going to see him in orange, and we're going to have a finality to the episode, obviously. I also, Synth, if you're listening, I don't know if you're even on here or if you had something to do today. Can you please link our merch back to can you link the merch site back to the Guilty of Crime site? Because I can't even find the merch on the site. I do have a link right here, but that's not directly connected to my Guilty of Crime account. So if you can do that, if it takes you a few minutes, I'll share this in a bit with you guys. I just couldn't find my own merch, guys. It's really bad. There's corruption within the police, and he's in big trouble. We're going to listen to that in a second. But Yeah, it's very disappointing for the locals.
Headlines. He's been involved in several scandals. Channel 9's Sabrina Majore live at the Lake County Jail right now. And Sabrina, he is not the ordinary inmate there.
Right.
Yeah, Martha, because of his status, the Lake County Sheriff's Office says he's likely being held in a part of the jail away from other inmates. But like every other inmate today, he was fingerprinted and photographed. Information about his arrest also transferred online as part of that booking process.
No one is above the law.
Osceola County's top law enforcement officer could now face up to 30 years in prison. The now former sheriff will enter his plea for racketeering and conspiracy to commit charges during an arraignment on June 30th.
No matter if you are the lowliest criminal or a high-profile sheriff, everybody receives the same due process in the criminal justice system.
Marcos Lopez first joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003 while still serving in the Navy Reserve and went on to...
Damn, he's been there for 22 years, you guys, and I wonder how long he's been collecting donations for himself, right? Cash donations. Carolina, I'm glad you rolled in. Sheriff Lopez was so wrong to post Maddie's pick. This is Lopez's karma. I think he has a lot of karma coming back. People say he's going to disappear. We're going to watch that real quick about the bond and him being in court. 26 point, or did I say 26? Yeah, now I'm confused about $21.6 million, and his part was in cash. But I wonder what other part he is, what he's hiding. And I'm sure they're going to be able to find that, I hope.
To work various law enforcement roles, including patrol
Yeah,
and criminal
it is.
investigations before he was elected sheriff.
So help me God.
Bye, Pigeon.
He made history at the swearing-in ceremony back in 2021.
They
becoming
did
the
take his
first Hispanic
passport.
sheriff in the state of Florida. But his tenure wasn't without controversy. Lopez claimed to have accidentally posted a photo of 13-year-old Maddie Soto's body to his personal Instagram page less than 24 hours after the missing teen was found dead in the woods. Following FDLE's review of the incident, Lopez was added to the Brady list.
I have never seen where the top law enforcement professional was on that list.
The Brady list tracks officers who could be a problem if they testify in court because of bias, misconduct, or dishonest behavior in their past. And right now, Lopez does not have bond. Attorneys tell us that is not uncommon given the seriousness of these charges. Reporting live in Lake County.
Oh, he will now, though. I'll show you that, and then we're going to do all the other fun stuff that you guys have been waiting for.
Sabrina Majore, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
We are learning more about the newly appointed Osceola County Sheriff Chris Blackman.
Yeah, Blackman is the chief of the Central Division for the Florida Department of Highway and now appointed sheriff as his career spans 3 decades in law enforcement. Channel 9.
All right, so for those of you that were asking earlier, it spans 3 decades, and they're talking about the new person that is taking over for right now. They're going to talk about what happens later because I guess this is an elected position and he's getting put in there because this jerk off here is sitting behind bars. Nikki, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Much appreciation. And Sabrina Ham, a member for 11 months. No one is above the law, Jen. There you go. A message to Jen. All right, I got 3 giveaways after this next clip. You guys, this is the fun part, all right? Yeah, 3 decades, this guy. All right, so it looks like he has some experience, or it sounds like it anyway. Let's listen up.
Ryan, Scott Martin continues our live team coverage outside of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. And Scott, Blackman spoke briefly just moments ago.
Darlene, yeah, I was the first reporter just to speak with him as he walked out of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and I'm going to step out of the way. He's right back here getting ready to speak with us some more here in just a moment. But I asked him exactly, how was he doing, and he just said, things could be better. So we'll get some more remarks from him in just a moment. But I did learn that he has started here as a trooper, in 1990. That's when his career began. He worked here in Troop D as a DUI trooper, then a sergeant, lieutenant, and captain, all within Troop D. That includes Osceola County here. Here's some video of him walking into the Osceola County Sheriff's Office today after being appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I talked with a former public information officer of FHP, Kim Montez, and she worked with now Sheriff Blackman and says that he was promoted to a major and moved to Tallahassee, but came back to Orlando a few years ago as a troop commander before being promoted to Central Region Chief. Now he's appointed sheriff, and she says that he knows this area well.
He was also the captain over Osceola, so he is very familiar with the agencies, the people within the agencies that work that area, because he worked that area for so long as a supervisor.
And again, he just walked out and said he would be speaking with us. So we'll go chat with him and see some of the remarks that he has to say, and have that coming up later on WFTV tonight at.
Yeah, guys, there's a lot of coverage. If you're interested in learning more, you guys can go out and look at Fox 35 on YouTube, and there's a lot to digest. All right, so here's the clip of him suspended Osceola sheriff, granted $1 million bond and illegal gambling. It's changed a bit since then, but
first,
you get to see
let's begin with West 2's investigative reporter Justin Checker. Justin is live outside of the Lake County Jail. Justin, what can you tell us?
Well, at this hour, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez is still locked up in the Lake County Jail behind me. The judge set his $1 million bond with those several conditions of his release. Now, in order to get out of jail, Marcos Lopez must prove he's not using money from the illegal gambling operation.
See, there you go. It's gotta be clean money, guys. He's gotta prove that it's not from that. All right. He absolutely deserves to be locked up. I wonder how he's gonna pull that amount of money out of his butt and show that it's money that he earned from his position. What do you think? All right, when are they going to put Jen Soto in handcuffs? Well, I hope they do at some point, anytime. I have no idea, but you saw the potato with the handcuffs. That's what we hope happens. All right, good luck, jerk off. Exactly. That's about right. That's the sentiment for the local Florida people. Right here, he's in a orange, where he belongs. He's in orange.
Thank you. Could you tell me your name, please?
Marcos R. Lopez.
Wearing his orange jumpsuit after a night in the Lake County Jail, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez faced a judge during a virtual hearing Friday morning. After she set his $1 million bond for the felony racketeering and conspiracy charges, Lopez had one question.
How do I start the bond process?
Statewide prosecutors shared new information from the investigation into an illicit gambling operation in Central Florida that led to the arrest of Lopez Thursday morning.
And just some highlights that the allegations in that affidavit, the detail an extreme breach of public trust. The circumstances surrounding his misuse of office as the sheriff of Osceola County are very serious. Again, there's direct evidence in that affidavit of ongoing illegal enterprise.
Prosecutors say investigators uncovered text and WhatsApp messages between Lopez and two co-conspirators dating back to 2019. And he continued getting paid from the illegal enterprise after he was elected sheriff in November 2020.
The weight of the evidence includes that the defendant obtained between, at the very least, 600 to.
He looks very concerned now, doesn't he? Doesn't he look concerned? He looked very cocky earlier. There's some footage of him for an hour of court time, and he looks he looks goofy and he looks concerned, very concerned. All right, good to see you back. I'm glad you're back because we're giving away things right after this.
$700,000 since 2020 from this illegal enterprise in cash payments.
According to the state, additional evidence against Lopez includes a wire transfer through a fake business name and screenshots of slot machines in the 255-page affidavit. While prosecutors wanted an even higher total bond of $1.2 million, Lopez's attorney argued for a much lower amount, telling the judge he isn't a flight risk.
Yeah, he does have a family. He was publicly elected for 2 different terms as the sheriff's office. He does have funds from working at the sheriff's office. This is a white-collar crime, a non-dangerous crime.
The prosecution requested that Lopez must prove he used legitimate funds and not money obtained through the gambling operation to post his bond.
I am going to grant the state's motion as far as the source of funds goes, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0462F. So the source of the funds will need to be shown to the state.
And there may need to be another hearing for Marcos Lopez to prove he is using legitimate funds to post his bond. As for those other conditions for his release, he must be fitted with the GPS monitor, surrender his passport, and turn over his firearms to FDLE. The suspended sheriff is also ordered by the judge to have no contact with the other defendants in this case. And
now, I haven't heard about him making bond or posting bond. I'm sure he'll be able to. It's just being able to prove that money comes from his savings or somebody's savings, maybe his wife, maybe somebody, but it's got to be clean money. So Anna says he's still in Lake County Jail. That means he has not posted bond yet. They did give him a little bit of a lower bond, but Carolina says, how the mighty fall hard. Money makes people funny, but it made Lopez greedy. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I don't know how he didn't think he would get caught. All right. All right. I don't think he's married. They said his family, though. They talked about his family. So maybe it's an ex-wife, but I'm pretty sure he probably does have family. I don't know. I haven't heard that he doesn't. So.
And his next court date is an arraignment set for June 30th. Covering Lake County Live in Tavares, I'm Justin Shecker, WESH 2 News.
All right, guys, there's a lot more coverage on this. And if more comes out that I think that you should see, I will definitely show you. Let me show you this real quick. Speaking of, the link is a little wonky, and I'll update that on my page. But let me show you real quick. This is not what I would like to show you. This is not the link I want to show you, because the link is some guilty of crime merch square thing that's going to put onto my site. But I do want to show you this real quick. And then I'll update the link as soon as it's updated on the site. All right. So this is the guilty of crime new merch. All right. There's my big face on there. So if you guys don't like that, then don't buy my stuff with the face. Buy something else, all right? I've seen some shit talking about that, but it's my channel, so there's going to be my face on there, all right? So let's take a look real quick. I just want to show you some of the new merch. This is definitely a different store than I showed you last time. It's no longer that Google Doc form. That was just a temporary fix that we were doing in between. So right after this, I'm going to give away some items. Some of the Foxy Box, Foxy Bobble, Foxy, whatever she calls it. All right. So here it is. And it says the link is updated. I don't have it. Tiff, if you could send me the updated link, that'd be great. But for now, it doesn't matter. Look at this. We've got a guilty of crime long sleeve shirt. We got a zip up hoodie, which was requested by, and don't go yet. We're giving stuff away right after this. I just want to show you the new merch and the merch for Pride Month. So Sadie's mama said everybody needs a zip up. So we did a zip up. These are all interchangeable with the logos. But here's the new stuff for this month. All right. For Pride Month, get your stuff for Pride Month while you can. We've got the I took my meds again, guys. We've got that again. Let me drop myself down so you can see it. And then look, we got I took my meds. I know you guys love that and you love the zip up. So there you go. There's some new merch. I just want to show you up close. This one I like a lot. It says Guilty of Pride YouTube, Guilty of Crime channel. All right. I know you guys love the rainbow stuff and you support Pride Month. So there you go. The panda tee. Let's see if I can zoom in a little on that. I think it's really cool. Thank you, ladies that are coming up with the designs, Foxy and Tiff. All right, so there's that. That one's one of my favorites. This one is interchangeable, guys. So you can get a hoodie without my face. You can get a hoodie with anything that you want. All right, any design you want. But that's how it is on the website. Let me show you. There's another one. I took my meds. I know you guys enjoyed that one. And I absolutely love the panda too. That's my favorite. All right. So there you go. That one. This one's great too. This one is the new Guilty of Crime. And we can ship international, but we're going to have a different charge for that, guys. So I'm sure we can come up with something. It's just going to be different prices. All right. So there you go. I work in the library. I love to wear. Yeah. Isn't that pretty freaking cool? Got to thank the ladies for that. All right. And then the last new one is this one. I thought that one was really cool too. Guilty of Crime, messy bun, all that. Love that took my meds. So all this stuff is there you go. I'll say tariffs. Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. And then I want to show you this too. I haven't had a chance to show you any of this stuff. That one's just our regular Guilty of Crime. We did a different rainbow one, but I like the V-necks. I like V-necks. So there's a V-neck and then the hats, the mugs, the tumblers. This is my favorite tumbler right here. Look at this one. The trolls kills 99% of trolls. Don't try me. Spray, crisp, F off, and then it gives all the uses. So all items are great, very reasonable prices, in my opinion. I've bought merch from other sites, and they're a lot more expensive. So we tried to make it reasonable here. Thank you for all the ladies that did that. I'm gonna bring myself back up here. And now we're going to give some things away. So make sure you hit that like button and make sure you have a comment so you can be entered into the drawing. Yes, I only wear V-necks like 99% of the time. Anyway, yeah, the beanies. I got a beanie. That's great too. Any of those you guys can get over on guiltyofcrime.com. All right. So we're done with that. I rarely get to show you the merch. I do now. So let's get to it. We're going to give some things away. All right, guys. So anything that we give away today, that can't be shipped international, but we do have international prizes that Synth will send out. All right. So here we go. Number 1 giveaway. Foxy, what is this for? You tell them in chat. I'm just going to pick 3 winners today. All right. I'm going to pick 3 winners. You guys have to email and claim them. That's your job. All right. Your job to claim it. And let's go. 10, 9, 8. All right. Here we go, guys. Yeah, we have sanitizing spray. All right. Here's our first winner. As long as you're in the United States. I know Jen's a Gypsy's probably in the United States. And there you go. Jen's a Gypsy's probably in the United States. And she's here on the channel all the time. There is winner number 1. I don't know what the first prize is. Where'd you go? Foxy? All right, prize number 1. Jen's a Gypsy just won that. Love you too, Rosie. Good to see you, my friend. All right, we got chicken wing necklaces too, of course. Of course, we got chicken wing necklaces in the house, right? Look at that. Freaking chicken wing. We got the best stuff around here. All right, Carly's here. All right. Jen's a Gypsy, you won. I don't know what the heck happened to Foxy, but there's you're the first winner. There's winner number 1. Please email guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. Now winner number 2. So winner number 1 is a Foxy box, and you will be emailing guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. All right, next one. Let's go. Prize number 2. Oh, that's not it. My bad. All right, hold on. YouTube giveaway. Enter URL. That's not it. My bad. Sorry. I usually work pretty fast here. I try not to keep you guys waiting while I do things, because I don't like that when I'm watching the channel and I gotta watch them scroll through stuff. I'm like, come on, I want to know. Get it together. All right, there you go. Winner number 2. Winner number 2. As long as you're in the United States, there we go. All right, winner number 2. One Love Revolutionary. Winner number 2. And that's up to Foxy what you win. And it's guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. All right. Jay, I guessed on another channel. I said Guilty Crime's only channel. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good to see you guys all in the house. Guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. And that one's a Foxy bundle. If you're a member, One Love Revolutionary, I believe you're a member. If so, you want a Foxy bundle. Okay, we're going to give this last one away, guys. Foxy bundle for One Love. Rosie, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. Best content creator out there. I'm that's very sweet of you. Thank you. That's too kind. Too kind. Laura just became a member. That way, if she wins, she'll be able to get a prize. All right. Next one. So we got One Love, Jen's a Gypsy, all guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. All right. Next and last winner. All right. Let's see. All right. What happened? What happened here? What happened? It's making me do it all over. Okay. Last winner. I know it's intense waiting. All right. Where the heck did it go? Applications, YouTube. All right. This is pretty easy. I don't know why. All right. Last winner. Here we go. I didn't realize we were giving 3 away initially. So there we go. Third winner, guys. You got to be in the United States. Yeah, the suspense. Ah. All right. PGH Deb 412. All right. So there's our third winner, PGH Deb 412, and it's guiltyofprizes@gmail.com. Congratulations to everybody that won today. PGH Deb, Jen's a Gypsy, and One Love. All right. You guys message guiltyofprizes@gmail.com, and then do go over to guiltyofcrime.com and go get some merch. Okay, go get some Pride merch, go get a tumbler, go get whatever you want. Congratulations to all the winners today. Thank you guys for being here. I hope to see you guys soon. I'll be back on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. So you guys want to be around next week? I'll be around Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'm out. I get to take a summer vacation. So that's about all I'll say about that. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for all the generous memberships that you guys gave out, super stickers, and everything else that you guys do. Hit that like button on the way out and then share with your community. Thank you all the Florida locals that were here. I love you guys. Don Grandma 3 says, question, if I get a GoFundMe up, I can absolutely promote your GoFundMe, Don Grandma 3. Absolutely. Email me, guiltyofcrime@gmail.com. Let me know what your GoFundMe is for, and I will certainly share it. I have no problem with that. Thank you so much. Love and light to you, Carrie. Go over to guiltyofcrime.com. Check it out. Love you guys. Thank you, Carrie, for everything you do and everybody else. And I am out. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty of crime?